Hi everyone, I just spilled tea all over myself. True story, I would move the camera, but I'm worried that I would spill even more tea. I'm gonna put the tea down before I do myself some damage. Okay, so today was gonna be a reading vlog, but that video isn't finished yet, so that will be the next one that you're getting. So instead today is a sit down video where I talk to you about some things that I've been loving recently, in the hope that maybe you might want to check out some of these things and hopefully love them too. And also in this video, I am going to need a couple of things from you, please. So at the moment, things are kind of hectic. As you know, we've just moved house, which would be enough on top of work. But I have a book deadline at the end of this month and then another book deadline at the end of June. And next week I'm going in for an operation. So things are a bit of a lot. So reading vlogs are my favorite thing. I'm just moving on this beanbag to move away from the tea that I spilt. Reading vlogs are my favorite things to film, and I intend to keep filming them. As I said, I'm recording one of them at the moment. Themed reading vlogs in particular, just my favorite thing to make and also to watch when other people make them. But I am gonna need to film more sit down videos that take less time in the coming weeks and months. So I need a couple of things from you. I will remind you of these things at the end, so you don't have to do them right now, but if you could do them at some point, it would be super, super helpful. 3 things. So number 1, these are things that I need you to leave in a comment, please. Number 1, do you have any book reading or booktube related questions? Because I'm going to do a bookish Q&A at some point. So by that, I don't mean writing questions. I just mean specifically about reading and all of that stuff. Number 2, if you have any favorite types of sit down videos, let me know. Not so much the ones that take a huge amount of research time, like the history of fairy tales videos, but like the reflection or reaction videos or top 10 lists or anything like that. Anything that you really enjoy, put that in a comment down below too. And number 3, if you have any specific book recommendation requests, please let me know, because I'll also do another video where I do recommendations, quick fire recommendations. How many books can I recommend in 20 minutes? So you might be like, Jen, I really want a book about lesbian pirates set in the future. I want to read that book. If you have any specific book recommendation requests like that, leave that in a comment below as well. So that's number 1, any book reading or booktube questions. Number 2, any favorite sit down video requests. And number 3, any specific book recommendation requests. All right, okay, that's the housekeeping. That's out of the way. Also, I did ask this on Instagram yesterday, but I wanted to ask on here too, because this is where I upload my videos. And I received lots of very kind messages saying, please just take a break. And I appreciate that. And I promise that if I need to take a break, I will. But I enjoy filming videos. What is that noise? Oh, it's a really loud bird. I really didn't know what that was. I thought it sounded like a really sad dog whining. Anyway, yes, I received loads of messages saying, please just take a break. And I promise if I need a break, I will. But making videos, I enjoy doing that, and having routine and structure makes me feel less anxious and stuff. So if I can film videos, I will continue to do so. And if I need to take a break, I will, don't worry. And if I do take a break and you don't see me around, you know why. Okay, so today we are here to talk about favorite things along with this really loud bird. And I will insert cutaways of things I'm talking about as and when necessary. So firstly, obviously, my favorite thing is having moved and being in our new place, being able to hang washing outside because we now have outdoor space. Yesterday I hung up our sheets and left them to dry, and I also washed this wig and left that outside to dry and went outside, and the neighbour's cat had come into our garden and was looking at the wig as if it was another cat and swishing his tail as if he was really cross about it and prowling around as if he was trying to assert dominance over the wig. And that just really made me giggle. Part of my job is working as the books editor for Toast, so doing book reviews, and along with the articles that I write, I take photos as well, styling the books. And let me reach over that means that very occasionally they send me some things to include in the photographs that they also sell on their website. So this is a vase that they sent me and I just love it. This is made by an independent seller, so I'll link her Instagram down below as well, but I will also link it on the Toast website. It's kind of a medium bud vase because you can't fit too many things in it, but it's definitely more than one stem, as illustrated by all the things that are inside it. But I just really love that. I think it's a very happy vase. Then a couple of random kitchen favorites. I know that many of you appreciate it when I talk about accessibility tools. So this has been really good. I found it online, and I can't remember, it's a 5-in-1 or a 6-in-1. It does lots of different things. A couple of the things it does I think are maybe questionable and not that good, but the things that it does well, it does very well. So this opens jars, so it can click into any size jar, close it, and then you've got extra grip. The thing that I love it for most is the ring pull opener. So in cans, you can hook it on the ring pull, which will leverage it up, and then you can turn it over and then yank the can open that way. Not very well illustrated, but I will link a video down below where someone demonstrates using an actual can, which is probably more helpful to see. But I've been enjoying this. And another random kitchen favorite is this, the pink stuff. Super amazing cleaning product, will get any stain off of surfaces like sinks and ovens, and it was a lifesaver when moving in here to clean, and then obviously when we did the deep clean of our old place and moved out. I've loved this for a long time, but I've just been reacquainted with it recently with all the cleaning we've been doing and remembered how much I liked it. It's super cheap as well. It was Jean's birthday last month, and if you're not following her channel, I'll link her down below, but I wanted to buy her a print for her wall because she's just moved as well, and she has a beautiful gallery wall, several beautiful gallery walls, and I found an Etsy seller called Harry, who I'll link in the description box down below, and she does these amazing book prints, and I messaged her and asked if I could customize one of them, or rather if she could customize one of them for me, because she had a print which was lots of different books inspired by Greek myth, and Jean's an author and she's done a book of Greek mythology for kids, so I asked if she could switch out one of the books and do a spine of Jean's instead, and she said yes, and she made that, and this was the print here that she made, and it's just lovely, and I wanted to give a shout out to her page because I think that she's great. I will link her in the description box down below if you would like to go and check her out. On TV, Mr. M and I watched Stanley Tucci, is it Searching for Italy? Which I'm sure most of you have seen because it's Stanley Tucci, and who doesn't love him? Who isn't in love with him? I think everybody is. It's always a fun time at the Women's Prize award party, not that I've been for several years, but his wife is, does she run it? She's on the board, I think, of the Women's Prize. So he's always at the party, and everyone is always on the lookout for Stanley Tucci at that party. But we watched Searching for Italy. Do not watch it when you are hungry. Oh my goodness, the amount of times I wanted to make pasta at midnight and had to really restrain myself. And I have to admit that maybe one time I did end up making some pasta, and I have no regrets at all. Pasta at 11:30 at night. Why not? Stanley Tucci is obviously an actor, and he went to Italy to just eat lots of great food. He is Italian on both sides and has lived in Italy before. He also speaks Italian, so I think it was just extra lovely because he was able to go there and actually talk with local people and experience it in a different way to someone who didn't speak the language, or a random celebrity who had no connection to a place, visiting and eating food. Not that that's not fun to watch too, but this just felt extra wholesome and I loved it. But yeah, it will make you really, really hungry. You have been warned. We've also watched all of the series of Taskmaster, all of them. I saw something on Instagram stories that made me really giggle the other day by Heather Parry, who said that she would have watched Taskmaster earlier if anyone had told her about Greg Davies' huge bisexual energy, or powerful bisexual energy, and I concur. We started watching previous seasons of it, I don't know, several months ago. I think maybe even in the winter, because I think in my last favourites video I was talking about how much I love Bob Mortimer, so we ended up watching him in Taskmaster, and then we ended up watching the rest of the series, and we're currently watching the most recent one, which is just pleasing me. Taskmaster, again, I'm sure you've heard of it because It's a very, I was going to say very famous show. It's a very prolific show. It's a series, I think, 13 or 14, but it's a group of comedians who are set a set of ridiculous tasks, and there are often shortcuts if they think about it very carefully, and it's just a fun time. But two shows that I am not late to the party for are Severance, which is on Apple TV, and also When Barbara Met Alan, which is on the BBC. Now, I don't want to tell you too much about Severance because the joy of it, or rather the appeal of it, is that it is very disconcerting, gets under your skin, and you're not sure what is going on. And I think the less you know before going in, the bigger the payoff, perhaps. So maybe don't even watch the trailer. But if you like a disconcerting dystopian show, then give it a go. It's about a group of workers who work in an office underground, and they have been severed, and I won't say what that actually means. You do find out quite soon into it, but it just trickles information throughout the series, and it's a great discussion about capitalism and technology. And I would say that the final episode is one of the most tense hours of TV I have ever seen in my life. So that will be my top recommendation. I also really loved the film When Barbara Met Alan, which, as I said, is on the BBC. There's some kids coming home from school. When Barbara Met Alan is, I think, about an hour and a half long, and it's about two people called Barbara and Alan who set up the DAN, which was the Disabled People's Direct Action Network, and they worked together and protested to get the Disability Discrimination Act enacted. And I would recommend it for fans of the film Pride. It has that same vibe, and I just found it really, really wonderful. And I love how it broke the fourth wall in places and had some of the real life people who it was depicting in the show as well. The end just made me cry. I just thought it was handled so well. I loved it. My final TV favourite before we move on to other things is just a brief hurrah for Ncuti Gatwa being cast as the new Doctor. I just think is the most brilliant piece of casting that I have seen in ages, and he is going to be just phenomenal. I'm very, very excited about that. What I have been loving making in the kitchen recently is Dishoom's jackfruit biryani. So for my birthday in January, Mr. M got one of the home Dishoom cooking kits. It's basically all already made for you, but you heat it up yourself. And one of the things that was included in that was their jackfruit biryani, which I'm not sure if it's new since I was last in Dishoom in person, which is years ago, or if I've just never had it, but it was so good. And I found the recipe online, and I've been cooking it a lot, and it is just so great. I will link the recipe in the description box down below. And in fact, I have a clip here which I will insert, which was going to be in the reading vlog, but I think I have enough B-roll footage to insert it here instead. So here is me making said jackfruit biryani. Another favourite is this. So this is a back massager. As you know, I have joint issues, I have arthritis, and I've been eyeing up these back massagers for ages. There are several different kinds. Please do your research carefully if you are in the market for one of these, because I was reading reviews for other brands, and there were definitely reviews saying that it had set on fire. So they were cheaper versions. This one I think was about, it was about £60, £70. I don't quite remember. I will list the brand in the description box down below. But essentially, it looks like this. You put it over your shoulders and then put your arms in these, which means that you can direct the pressure and pull it taut, which is really helpful. And then you press the power button. This isn't charged at the moment, so I can't show you in action. But you press the power button, and then in here, it's got these spheres, 3 on each side, which rotate. And it is very firm, and it really does feel like someone is massaging your back. And I found it really, really useful. So maybe a niche recommendation, but if that sounds up your street, check it out. And as I said, research the brand. This is called MAXDIGI, and it has been great so far. And I have seen no reviews of this brand which says that it sets on fire. That's not what any of us want, is it? Absolutely not. Something that I have found really relaxing is watching Mona's garden videos. Her garden is in Somerset and it is just stunning. She has runner ducks. She has a really long garden which is split up into lots of sections. So some of it has flowers, some of it has vegetables. She's got an orchard at the back. It's just dream worthy, and I have a garden that is nothing like that at all. I mean, I had no garden at all until a couple of weeks ago, but our garden is really, really small, north facing, so we're gonna have to have shade loving plants in it. So I'm not watching her video to decide what to put in our outdoor space, but I just find her content really, really soothing to watch. So if you also aren't planning on planting lots of things or growing vegetables or any of that stuff, but you would just like to watch someone else doing it, I will link her channel in the description box down below. I also want to link CJ's channel down below. She has a booktube channel and she has set up a mobile bookstore called Sunny's, and I just adore her enthusiasm for it. I just think it's so infectious. It's a delight, and Sunny's is going to have its debut opening soon, so go and check out her channel and also her page for Sunny's Book Truck and show her some love, show her some support. As you may know if you've been here a while, I really love a traveling bookshop. I've written a book about them, so I just adore them, and I think that what she's doing is fantastic. So I wanted to mention that in this video too. And then finally, something else that was a favorite is that one of my new poems is placed in Magma's annual poetry competition, and there is a reading this Thursday online, which I can't attend, but I have submitted a video of me reading my poem, and I think the event is free to sign up to. So if you would like to listen to / watch poets performing some of their poetry online this Thursday, I will link that event in the description box down below as well. Oh, and finally, my final favorite is that I had bought some fake plants last week. You may have noticed that none of our house plants have been in videos for over a year now, and that's because they have been at my mum-in-law's house because Mr. M's asthma was being set off by something. We know what was setting it off, but we thought other things may have been aggravating it, and we thought it was possible it was the house plants. We weren't sure. But anyway, those have been on holiday at his mum's house, and I miss having house plants, so I decided that I would purchase a couple of artificial ones for my office, and they're from a company called Leaf Design UK. I will insert a cutaway showing them now, but they're just so well made and they really, really do look real. So I just wanted to mention those in case you also have allergies or live with someone who has allergies or live with a cat who likes to eat your houseplants and that's not good for them. And I know that many people have that issue, so I thought that I would just mention it here. Okay, so I think those are all the favorites that I wanted to mention today. Let me go over what I said at the beginning as a request from me to you, because if you can help me out in the comment section of this video, that would be super helpful. As I said, I need to do more sit-down videos in the coming weeks and months because of book deadlines and operation and stuff. So 3 things, if you could leave them in a comment down below. Number 1, any booktube or reading related questions. Number 2, if you have any favorite sit down videos that you would like to request, not ones that need loads and loads of research, but ones that I could film like over the course of one day. And number 3, any specific book recommendation requests so I can film a book recommendation video for all of you. I'm going to leave that here for today. I hope that you're all having a good start to the week. If you are new and you would like to subscribe to this channel, that would be lovely. And if you enjoy my content and have the means to support me on Patreon, that is always very kind as well. Link to that will be in the description box down below too. I'm sending lots of love to all of you, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.